setting up for another shiny hunt. Okay. Well, I'm going to go set up for shiny hunt. Which will hopefully not be that long. It's going to be right here. I think I have the ingredients I need. If not, I can go buy stuff. Oh, I have a few. That works. Because it's this. I just happen to have a few of these. I picked this spot because Pikachu and Pichu show up here and there's nothing else that conflicts if you do electric right here. So this will probably be an okay spot. Might be day only, which would be kind of annoying. Which is unfortunately looking like it's the case. Looks like that's the case, which is unfortunate. But I learned I can do the thing. As long as I'm really fast. Unsynchronize the clock. We'll just skip 1 hour. And I'm going to keep returning to this time. Because if it's a daytime only thing, I'm not dealing with that. There's no outbreak or anything. It's just an unfortunate look like it was day only, which is kind of dumb. So I can just keep skipping the clock back. Wasn't sure if it was day or night only. At this point, I can't be doing that to speed some hunts up. I'm not gonna massively change the time. I'm gonna hunt. If I get an outbreak naturally, cool. I'm not skipping around for an outbreak, but if I get an outbreak naturally, I'll reset to keep the outbreak if needed. If I get day or night only things I need, I'll just keep messing with the clock. I'm not dealing with that nonsense. Yep. Alright. Thought it was right here. Got the wrong spot? I don't think it's here. Yeah, no, this is the wrong area. Okay. It should be like right here. Yeah, I know it's an oddly specific spot. Trying to do the shiny hunt and where I should be. I hate. Damn it. Wasting the sandwich. It should be right here. This is kind of a stupid start. God damn it. The shiny hunt. I don't see a Pikachu or Pichu anywhere. I thought I was in the right location. Unless this is one of those. It's listed in this area because it's going to be like one tiny spot. They did an electric sandwich and I'm not seeing the Pokemon, which is confusing. I hate wasting sandwich and stream time like a moron. Might have to quickly look that up, unfortunately. Because I swear it should be the stupid road. And yet, here we are, and there's fucking nothing. Which is dumb. And I hate when I'm awkwardly wasting time like an idiot. I know I'm wasting time like an idiot. Because I'm pretty sure it was here. Figure that out. Checking on my phone. If I check Pikachu. it says Kitakami Road. And they show Pikachu and Pichu on the road. And yet, they're not here. Which makes no sense to me. There must be an oddly specific spot, because I have an electric sandwich and I don't see anything. I'm seeing everything but a Pikachu, which is so stupid. I don't want to waste time. Already wasting a good bit of the stream because I'm being a moron. Unless that information is just wrong. Which doesn't seem right. But I don't see them in the map. Meaning if they exist here, it is probably on one fucking ledge or something. So let's have a slightly tilted stream. Damn it. I'll waste a minute, and then if I can figure out where they spawn, I can reset and everything. Because I don't see... I might have to live look that up. You know, this is like the most awkward start to a shiny hunt. I just went to the location that was stated to be where the Pikachu and the Pichu were. And it seemed good, because it's like, oh, they're the only electric types that spawn in this map zone. That will be easy. I can just use an electric sandwich, and we will probably get a shiny in a simple way. But no. I don't see any Pikachu. Anything. Yeah, no. And I have the electric sandwich on. I don't want to waste time like a moron, which I'm doing anyway. I'm sorry about that, because I normally read the location. Because I don't see them mixed into anything. I would notice a Pikachu if it was walking around. They're meaning it must be a time of day thing. Which irks me. Middle of the night didn't seem to work. I'm wasting so much time. I'm live Googling some stuff because I'm tilted. This is one of the worst starts to a shiny hunt. Because it says there's fucking Pikachu here! Hold on, let me... using this little map area. Hold on. Okay. Trying to use... Because if I can find the spot, clicking on the location thing, trying to match this in-game. Despite the fact that the road is mentioned. All Pikachu. More Pikachu are up here. Seems like I could go up there. See if there's a bunch of Pikachu and Pichu and I can just reset. See if they spawn at night. Because the one road area was listed as Pikachu, yet I wasn't really getting Pikachu or Pichu. Oh yeah, they are up here. Okay, that works. There are Charjabug up here as well, unfortunately. Pikachu were pretty common up here. Okay. I'll probably just do my hunt up here then. I was trying to use the road because it was listed as road. We'll also experiment. Sorry about the awkward start to that. Because I can't, like, despite the fact that it says road, looking at the map, for spawn locations, closest area Pikachu get to the road is listed as like right over here. But I didn't see any Pikachu like, right here. They are up the cliff. I'm just experimenting since I wasted some time because I was using a map. And it said Pikachu were on the road, but that looks like that's unfortunately not completely true. I don't mind hunting up where the Charjabug are, because that's not the worst thing. No, the start was awkward. You're just trying to isolate spots, and the DLC had a lot of spawns. Oh, see down here? And we'll just try at the top, and I can mess with the clock more needed. Because I didn't see anything down here. Let's see if I can get stuff at night too. Yeah, okay. There's like nothing down here. Okay. Then we're gonna have to... Yeah. So Pikachu do spawn at night. It's just better to hunt up here then. It's a little bit unfortunate. Unless I can find a better spot. I can check some of the other Pikachu locations. I might be able to isolate just Pikachu. Because Pikachu was all over the game. If I can just get a decent spot. And I might double check where some people did some isolated shiny hunts. I just thought the DLC would be good because of the road thing, but I couldn't get... that to work, so... This is a kind of awkward. Shiny hunt? I just assumed, since it said the road, that I could do, you know, down on the road part. Apparently that is a falsehood. Oh, the Charge-a-Vog, it's not... the worst thing, and I might just see if people do a hunt in a different location. So while I'm doing that, I'm stopping for just a minute. I want to see one thing. Top of the mountain also has a good few. Just quickly, before continuing, I was just checking some other spots that might be good. Apple Hill might be good as well in the DLC. Mountain's not that bad. So I was trying to isolate. Dang it. Damn it. Because I was trying to isolate spawns somewhere in the game where there's just less conflicting Pokemon, and the DLC is slightly better about that. Because almost no matter where I go in the DLC, Apple Hills are pretty common too. And the DLC is slightly more isolated. Oh. Yeah, getting a lot of Pichu up here. Other area are more Pikachu. Pikachu exists here, but this isn't a bad area on this side. Because this has the Pikachu and the Pichu. Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff now. Actually, if I hunt right here, so the area transition, I could actually pop in and out of the one area. See if there's a shiny or anything. They would be darker colored. Yeah, do a loop around and we'll probably be able to get what I'm looking for. If I just go in and out. Now that I have a better spot for this nonsense. Yeah, they're just all over the place. Okay. What do we do with that plaza idea though? Enter the area. Exit the area. Stuff will basically respawn. Now I have a better way to do this. Sorry about the awkward start. So I feel like if I do laps like this, I would probably get shiny somewhat easily, and then I have to reload. I can fly back up here, be more coherent. It's gonna be darker colored, I just need to see the contrast. If I get lucky. Might get a Pikachu, but Peachy would be fine. I at least have a decent isolation now. So all I gotta do is keep doing the loop like this. Kind of checking around. See if I spot anything. It probably wouldn't take that many loops. To get this thing. Because you can come in here and it refreshes everything. So by going in and out, it just feels like it's more of a decent eventuality as long as I try to pay attention. Because it's a darker color, so that should stand out, hopefully. Yeah, you do get a decent amount of Pikachu doing this. Or Pichu. This is a pretty good spot. Might be a better spot in the main game. As I often do when I take a bathroom break in a few minutes, I'm gonna try to figure that out. Because sometimes, even if a map shares a Pokemon, in the sense of, oh, there's like multiple electric types on this map, you could basically figure out, oh, while there's technically multiple electric types, like Pikachu technically only spawn up on this little cliff, meaning in a map that has multiple electric types in it, you would get 0 other electric types. Sableye is a fun example of that kind of thing, because they only appear in caves. So you can isolate Sableye. This isn't hard to do. That kind of thing. So I might see if there's a... Could have checked that before starting stream. I just had an idea and it didn't pan out exactly how I wanted it to. So that's how a lot of hunts actually break down. if you looked at a map, because when you're looking up Pokemon, it's not like it's false information. In a lot of cases, it'll be like, oh, Pikachu was over here. But Pikachu's in a map, and you look, oh, I don't want to hunt there. Pikachu is actually surrounded by a bunch of electric types. That's kind of bad. But then it turns out, oh no, if you're up on this one cliff, you only get Pikachu. And then it would just be a matter of the mass resetting. If I can get a bunch of spawns, I could do easy resets. It's just a matter of resetting quickly. Even this area I'm in, just this loop around would probably reset things quick enough. I talk about this on and off. Sometimes in successful hunts, a lot of times I'll say stuff and it'll be unsuccessful hunts, but the encounter rate, while the number, even with sandwiches, could seem kinda high, that is per spine. And the reason the per spawn thing is important, if I get 10 Pichu to spawn, that's 10 unique encounter. Any one of those could be shiny. And that's how you astronomically increase your odds when you're doing sandwiches, or even if you're not, just the average of, okay, I'm gonna get like 15 Pikachu to spawn. And every one of the like 15 Pikachu could be shiny. So if you keep mass spawning like 10 to 15 Pikachu every couple of seconds, that rolls Pokemon over and over and over and over again. That would be the trick, as it were. Because you would just keep rolling. It's why shiny hunting with the sandwiches can be, you know, decently quick, depending. Because you're basically spawning multiple Pokemon, and everything that spawns can be shiny. So, when you break spawn rates down that way, Starly, that's funny. Everything is, you know, infinitely more likely, because it's not like it's Single encounter. Is it shining? It's... Oh, here's like 15 Pikachu. Or Pichu. Out of those 15, anything could be shiny. So then it's just a matter of finding a good spot and resetting a bunch. Okay. No, the awkward start here, but I was just trying to find a slightly better location. At least before I see where some other people did some shiny hunts, and if there's a oddly specific spot that other people figured out. Because if that's the case, I will go there and I'll probably end up doing research for that in a minute. Because a lot of shiny hunts do break down where you can get a bunch of Pokemon and someone will figure out, oh, it turns out like you can actually shiny hunt like Pikachu over here and you would only get Pikachu. You could summon a bunch of Pikachu and it'd be really easy to reset. Because I could see Pikachu being isolated. Because most people that were doing shiny hunts were finding some of the better spots. Because that's the... Damn it. The issue... Could have looked that up before starting. If I do some hunts in the future, I really need to see where people were hunting. Because other people generally are good about isolating stuff. This sandwich is almost up, unfortunately. It's fine, though. I can go to the bathroom. And probably see if there's a better location. But this is at least an okay idea. I use the bathroom before the sandwich ends. Alright. Probably should. Ow. Dang it. slightly better spot in the main game, so I might just reset already. Okay. Go back to the main game. There's a slightly better spawn location that's a little bit more consistent. Checked. That would just be Pikachu. Which is... yeah. It's the east side of the area. Check for some slightly better spawns. Go to the east side and then you walk down the hill. You can get Pikachu if you create a picnic, like sort of right here, I believe. You might see some other stuff, but on average, this spot was recommended. Okay. Which works for me. Okay. Now I can more easily focus. Other spot I was using was okay though. Damn. Probably got the sneeze. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, that would appear. Pikachu, yeah, okay. See what they mean? Get a lot of Pikachu just... oh, sweet Jesus, yeah, that'll solve my problem. Oh, this one. Oh, Jesus Christ, at all the Pikachu. And the hunts that people were doing years ago was the Switch 1, where you have the crap that doesn't spawn super easily. Oh, I can get like 1,000,000 Pikachu, and because of the way spawns work, I like literally do this loop. As long as I'm not on the road, Pikachu just appear right here. And just loop around. See, there's a shiny Pikachu, and this will be super simple. Works for me. Because it'll be darker colored. This is a better isolation because I can do that loop thing. When you touch an area, it resets, because that's a town. I just come back. As long as I stay away from the road, it's not going to eat up my spawns too much. There's Pikachu all over the map right here. but I just... Yeah, and then near that edge, so... You just kind of need to do small circles. Seeing if I get what I need, because it's a quick loop in, loop out kind of thing. I could also take the one dudes if I wanted to. Staying like right here and just picnic resetting. So I don't even have to move. Because you get a decent amount of Pikachu, to be fair. If you're just kind of right in the circle idea works, you're just kind of right in the range by the tree. I can picnic reset. And that immediately makes everything spawn. It's just hanging out by the road, seeing what I get. You just get a bunch of stuff by the tree. Yeah, there's a decent amount of... Okay, yeah. Kind of like right in the cluster here. I was doing the loop method, but the picnic is pretty good if I'm just kind of watching the tree like this. It's just a matter of set it up, open it, see what you get. Just hoping it's decently noticeable. I know they're darker colored. I might go back to the looping method though. That gives me a sort of a wider idea. I can check all over the hill. I would just do laps. Because everything will re-roll. Just check by the tree. Because that gets you a bunch. Yeah, this would let me check multiple clusters at the cost of technically being slower, but I'm getting... Damn it. More spawns. Yeah, I get way more spawns. Do the loop. Just do the loop a bunch. They might wish you was doing this, but in weird lit spots. They look kind of shiny, but I know it would be darker colored. Because everything should stand out. This does seem like a good spot. Like there's a looping thing. I'll probably have a shiny, just a couple of flaps around here. No, it's kind of subtle, but the color contrast should be easy enough to spot, hopefully. I mean, with the number of Pikachus kind of appearing, it does sort of feel like, even if I'm doing the run around and just checking clusters, it theoretically won't be that bad. I wish this game had... The one thing from Legends that I wish was in this game is the... Oh. That shiny noise. So that would be great, just playing the game and you hear that shiny ching sound. As the one thing from Legends I would have loved to have in this game. Especially with the Switch 2. because of the wider distance, that would, like, you could be doing a shiny hunt like this. It'd just be kind of funny if that sound effect existed, like, say just turn like this, and then let's say it made the shing noise. That would mean there's a shiny somewhere. And it'd just be really funny if it was like within the render, like say it was a shiny Pikachu, but it's like all the way down the hill. You let it. Oh. So that's the. Thank you. Ideally, the sandwiches I have and the spot I'm using, it's only a matter of inevitability at this point. I can just keep resetting. As needed. I feel like if I do just a couple of loops, I would probably see this thing with the sandwich and everything. Just seems like a simple-ish hunt. Because you can get a good chunk of spawns and stuff. No, the shiny is darker colored. I'm just hoping it stands out enough. This feels like one of those, because regular Pikachu is brighter. That I'll do this and I'll just barely notice that, wait a minute. At least the advantage of the Switch 2, you get a hell of a lot more spawns in this game. This is immaculate, and I'm so happy about that. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of Pikachu spawning in this area, so just a matter of trying to spot a shiny, hoping I don't overlook it. Then we can do the targeting thing and see if it's marked or not. What keeps throwing me off in a lot of ways is the game lighting. Because this specific shiny is just slightly darker, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's not like crazy subtle, but I do prefer the obvious, you know, complete, not at all similar shinies, because when you see those, it's like, okay, yeah, that's definitely a thing. I feel Pikachu kind of falls in the middle because I don't think it's as subtle as some other shinies that in my mind are a little bit too hard to notice. Even if some of those look slightly better in this game. Garchomp and Gengar come to mind because those are basically like spot the difference eye tests. Pikachu is at least generally contrasty enough. focusing. Sandwich is almost out. I know. Sandwich is about out. That sandwich runs out before resetting and starting the next one. Probably take a minute. Had a video for the location for this. Might take a minute and look at the video to try to have a better general idea of the contrast. I know the shiny is darker. It's one of those, once you see it in game, because some of the shiny hunts I've done that I knew would be kind of subtle. It was often a little bit easier if you actually did see it for yourself. I feel like in a big cluster, it should be pretty simple. Sandwich is about to run out. Do that thing. Because instead of yellow, it's more orange, which should contrast. then this person, they're just doing picnic resets at the corner. Okay, yeah, seeing it because it's orange. The shiny is dark as fuck. Okay, yep, seeing it in game, that helps. Okay. Seeing it in his footage, I thought it was a decent contrast. That's fine. Okay. Now what he's doing, which you can't really do on the Switch 2, unfortunately. The video, I double checked just to see what the shiny looked like in game. Dude is like, I'm trying to find the spot. He's like right here by the road, sort of between the tree, creates a picnic, and because of the spawn radius, he just kind of spins the camera, and he got a shiny Pikachu in seconds. But on the Switch 2, because you can't abuse spawns as easily, it's just kind of a matter of finding a spot. But now that I've seen it, because shiny Pikachu is a lot more orange, like it's darker, and Pikachu's yellow, shiny Pikachu is like more orangish. And that really does contrast. Like, I thought it was kind of subtle, but seeing it in his footage, it's like Pikachu is kind of a pale yellow, and if you get a shiny, it's just this like pop orange. Because what he was doing was I could probably picnic right here. It would stand out if I don't want to do the loop. I want to just get some spawns. I could sit like right here, probably. Sort of do what he's doing because I can't get things to despawn, but just do the picnic reset. I could probably get it in a couple minutes. Up close, it'll definitely be sort of easy to see, but far away, maybe not, which is an issue. Because he was like right here, basically. About at this tree. If I just do this a bunch, it'll probably spawn it, realistically. Because you get a decent cluster. If they're up close, it'll be simple, but probably just stand right here and do this a couple of times. Get this thing. my issue. Trying to do the picnic reset thing. If I'm gonna do with the picnic reset, I need to be up here. So I can get spawns close to that tree. My issue is more getting a good position, but do the picnic method. 'Cause I can't really do what the one guy was doing. Yeah, I technically can. I'm a little bit past to get kind of close-ish spawns. Just kind of by the rock right here. It's actually realistically by the rock. It's pretty good. If I'm just doing the picnic method. Walking around, giving stuff a minute. I was doing the circling because I can get Pikachu and stuff down the hill and everything. But I'm just kind of sticking to this area only. Just gonna cluster everything. I feel like the loop method I was doing might be better on the Switch too. And the only reason for that, because you get so many decent like clusters of Pikachu all over the place if I just do loops around the map. So it's like I could check more of the groups. Especially because of the fresh approach. Now that I know it's like a really stark orange color that'll speed this up. If I do it this way, when I'm approaching down the hill, I can get a bunch of Pikachu just kind of clustered around this tree. Doing my own idea here. Because the Switch 2 has so much extra spawn power and I can just do loops like this. See what spawns. See if I notice anything. In a groove it would definitely be. Decent contrast. Yeah, I think my idea is better. Because this would work like that last stream I did. Wait, is that shiny? Oh, it is shiny. It's not marked, but yeah. Okay, so the lighting. This one is shiny. It's not marked, but it might be jumbo. You really missed him. Throw an Ultra Ball. Damn you. Not funny. I think it's a little bit more subtle with the lighting, but it is kind of funny. my loop idea was working then, but that's sort of the issue. If it's not in a cluster, I could miss the Pikachu. No, because that one Pikachu might be sized for the one thing. Okay. Yeah. 18. We will check the size. Because I always check the size. So if I get a Pikachu that's small or large and I actually get that mark, I'm going to consider that a successful hunt because it's a unique mark. And I haven't got a shiny that was sized yet. And that would be cool, even if it's a shiny that's not marked normally, but then falls into the size criteria because I'm not doing a size hunt. That would mean my shiny was naturally in that range. Which would be cool anyway. Now, a marked shiny that also rolls a size, that would be extra neat. Even just one of the size marks on a natural roll that doesn't influence size would be cool. And I figured eventually I would do a hunt. I would get an unmarked shiny that was sized for that unique title. That happens. I'm calling this a successful hunt. If that happens. Though this is probably an unfortunate, like, secondary bathroom break. Out in the middle. Damn it. Ow, 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 ow. coming back. Still had time on the sandwich, but I had to pee. Big Pika. You know, people aren't in the chat right now, but every time I think about Pikachu, I just think about that it was a pose and it just sounded too personal. Where someone basically
I was going to say I just come up with the air being off, the music I'm listening to doesn't pick barely enough on the mic to get a copyright claim.
a lot of them. Unless, well, damn it. Sometimes little bits of music, you just get the portions of your stream were muted due to copyright. You don't get a strike or anything. The joke I was going to make because it just sticks out in my mind. Someone was talking about Pokemon where, and I've agreed with this, where I wish they would just let you rename Pokemon that are traded. But it was this pose, and this just sounds like this happened to you. Oh, Wait, is that a shiny? It looks dark. Oh, it is a shiny. I didn't even see if this one was marked or not. I just saw her. I didn't even target her. I was like, wait, is she shiny? She is not marked. The loop thing is... Damn it. I'll check the size of the one, but this loop strategy is working, which is good. Because the shinies do stand out. But the joke I was going to make... So this is where my mind goes, and I just ramble when I'm doing shiny hunts and stuff. It was a Pokemon post, and the person basically it was a post about wanting to nickname Pokemon, which I've wanted them to just allow you to do. There is, like, in a modern sense, no reason to not let people rename traded Pokemon, because this would also let you name events. Because unless an event has your OT, which rarely happens, you're stuck with unnicknamed Pokemon, and that always kind of irked me. But the post was basically like them talking about how they want to be able to nickname Pokemon. But then they basically said, like, if you really need it, there should be an original nickname page so that Daddy Chew will always haunt you, which to me sounds like you did a random trade. You got a Daddy Chew.
Someone you knew got a Pikachu named Daddy Chew.
Could be a Raichu named a Daddy Chew. It just always felt targeted. Like the person... What Carson said is also true. Where it kind of comes off like someone that you know or you did a trade and got like a Pikachu or a Raichu named Daddy Chew, and maybe learn the hard way that you can't nickname traded Pokemon. But I love their jokey compromise of like, there should, if you really need it, there should be an original nickname page so that Daddy Chew will always haunt you. Initially, like, because this is just, you know, so funny. Initially, with not nicknaming traded stuff, that was sort of a limitation of Pokemon. Okay. Go check the size. I'll check the size of both of those. Because I didn't see if either of them... Because when you get the one size mark as a symbol, that just means you're in the range. Doesn't mean it is small or large, which annoys me, but... Check him first. Yeah. the off chance. Yep, nope. This is a good spot, though. Feel like it'll only be realistically 1 or 2 loops to get what I need, but the nicknaming thing was initially like more of a technical limit, but then they just made it this like cutesy thing. Like, oh, the original name of a Pokemon is like special, so it'd be like a dick move to change it. But then they started giving you, in a lot of cases, certain mercies where you could change the name, but normally the mercy was like, you can change it once and then never again. Make sure your change is what you want. Meaning, like, they know, you know, at this point, damn well they could allow you to do that, and I just wish they would just allow you to do that. Because one of these, like, you know, quality of life things would be just let people rename traded Pokemon. And I do kind of agree, like, with the dumb Daddy Chew joke. Like, if you really need to, just let me rename traded Pokemon. But just let the traded Pokemon I'm renaming. Also, during the day, there's a spot. Let the renamed Pokemon, if you really need it, if someone nicknamed it once, have, like, an original nickname page so that you'll know what the name was. Or stop caring, let me nickname traded Pokemon. Because the issue with that trade rule that was always really dumb, because it was just kind of ramble, traded Pokemon in general, because they didn't match your trainer. Oh, I adjusted my headphones. Traded Pokemon in general, because they didn't match your ID and stuff, even if they were not nicknamed, you couldn't nickname them anyway, which is extra dumb, because, oh, the original name is special, except it's like, I get a Pikachu from a trade, and the Pikachu I got from a trade is just Pikachu, so it's like, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to, at the very least, if a Pokemon has no nickname, give it one, but ideally, just no limits. Just let me change a Pokemon's name as much as I want. Because it doesn't matter if it's not technically mine, that limit is just stupid. And I wish they would just let you do that with just infinite changes, no qualms. That's the next thing I want Pokemon to do. Just let me nickname a Pokemon whatever I want, as many times as I want, whether it's mine or not. because I like giving Pokemon nicknames. But it does, you know, bother me. Oh, you can only nickname it if it's yours. If it's not yours, you generally can't, except in some games, you can. And usually, if they're going to give you that to Mercy, oh, you can change the name once and then never again. Stop trying to be cute. Archaic design, even for something as sort of... Oh, I'm trying to adjust my headphones, my glasses. Archaic design, even for something as sort of stupid as, oh, let's write a cute in-lore reason, like, oh, this is the name of this, like, Pokemon. It's like, it's like in real life, if someone has a dog and the dog has a name, and then you end up needing to take care of that dog, you're not just going to change that dog's name. You would be a monster if you did that. It's a fucking video game. Nobody cares. Real life dog bullshit. I've always hated that kind of argument because a dog in real life can learn to respond to a name. So if you had to take someone else's dog for whatever reason, and the dog you're taking had a name, it's like using the name the dog already had. That makes sense, because dogs will respond. Text in a video game, even if it's sort of like logic breaking, it's like nobody cares because there's no bearing on anything. That's sort of my little ramble with that. Dumb sort of in-lore explanations for kind of what initially started as interesting technical limits that no longer exist, that retroactively are just explained by stupid arbitrary lore. Just, damn it, bother me. Because there's no reason for that shit at all. I always usually I'm just going on these rants because I know it was a lot to read, but I still feel like the person missed my point. Where it was talking about, you know, they introduced the bottle cap, and that exists, and it became easier to get in multiple generations. And a lot of people, rightfully so, were like, okay, you introduced the bottle cap, and that was cool, but then you know that a lot of people would want zeros on stats. Because one of the few reasons people continue to cheat and try to hack Pokemon was often getting a, like, special attacker with a 0 attack. Or some of those weird, sweaty spreads, but let's not talk about those, but I mean, my point is valid, but at the very least, you would generally, like, a 0 is good when you're using a 0 for, damn it, the common stuff, because I explain this to people getting into Pokemon, and this kind of information just, blew their minds, which is basically, so, in Pokemon, with the IVs and everything, like, a lot of people kind of have this, if you're more casual or you're just getting into competitive, like, why would I want 0 IVs in stats? That's weird. Confusion? And the move, first, confusion as a mechanic is funny because when you're confused, you hit yourself with your attack. Your attack stat is what deals confusion damage. So, special attackers? Wait, that looks like a shiny. Oh, it's a shiny and it's marked, I think. It is shiny and it is marked. Cool. These do kind of stand out. That's great. We'll just do the Ultra Ball. So, I got what I needed, but I'm still going to continue with the sandwich. We'll see what mark I got after the fact. Nearly missed him. That's funny. This didn't take that long. It's good. It's the lighting. Just use an Ultra Ball. It's fast and, like, it's a close-ish match because shiny Pikachu, Raichu with the, like, Ultra Ball has the yellow on it. That's a pretty okay contrast. Not, like, it's at least complementary colors. Because I said I like color matching, but complementary colors are good. Now that I've done this, and I got a mark shiny, we'll see what the mark is, and I can nickname, evolve that thing. See if I maybe get another shiny, maybe another mark. I can go back to my little rant though, and that will definitely be on YouTube. So this really didn't take that long, thankfully. I thought it might not. Basically, like, if you're using a special attacker and you're not using physical attack, your physical attack determines how much damage you take with confusion. So, if you have a 0 IV in physical attack, you're going to hurt yourself less. But then the move Foul Play uses the target's attack stat to deal damage to the target. So, Foul Play, you're going to hit the target with their attack stat. So if you're using a special attacker, an attack is not being used at all, you basically get, like, a huge advantage there, because the whole concept and, like, unique argument here, and I can, try to narrow this rant down. I've went on this rant before, because I was talking about something I had said in a reply and someone missing my entire fucking point. Yeah, I know what I said was kind of long-winded, but to basically sum it up, I was, rightfully so, bitching about Pokemon really should have added a negative bottle cap that does the opposite of what a normal bottle cap does. Instead of a 31, you get a 0. Because that should have been a thing when they added bottle caps, because one of the few reasons people would cheat would be 0, because if a Pokemon is something you can't breed, you couldn't pass a 0 in breeding. And if you wanted a 0, because the other reason to get a 0, Trick Room, the slowest Pokemon under Trick Room, goes first. So if your speed IV is 0, what would happen if your speed IV, is as low as it could possibly be, and your nature is basically a negative? You underspeed a lot of things. So when you're doing super hard Trick Room to maximize the amount of stuff under Trick Room that you outpace, you generally want 0. Even outside of Trick Room, another fun, quirky use of 0 is abilities that set things. The slower Pokemon sets second, and you can only have one terrain and one weather at a time. So, if you have a terrain or a weather setter, and you have a 0 speed, you could literally do that to underspeed certain Pokemon. If you were trying to gain an advantage. Now, with that case, it doesn't have to be a 0, and even with a 0, faster things are still faster. Damn it. Or slower. Like, Torkoal can set up the sun, and it has a base speed of 20. So, Torkoal as a sun setter is one of the slowest, which damn near guarantees in, pretty much any traditional ability weather matchup that you will always set weather, which is interesting. It's just a fun note of trying to run some negative speed. You could catch people off guard because there are a few Pokemon that might be similar. Pelipper and Tyranitar are actually really close in speed. So even outside of Trick Room, you could actually run a really slow Tyranitar or a Pelipper to try to catch Pokemon by sacrificing your speed for the sake of, weather control. I'll go back to my full point in a second here. I'm just explaining, like, that's another reason you might want a 0. Because weather is important, but the Rambly post where I basically went off and had someone sort of go like, what the fuck are you talking about? They basically, you know, like many people, I said there really should have been a negative bottle cap. Because there really should have been a negative bottle cap. And this one person's like, no. It's like, oh no, it's like they shouldn't add a negative bottle cap. That would create a problem. It's like, you don't understand how the game works. The bottle caps are not actually changing the stats. They're like overriding the stats. The game actually does 12 checksums for your stats. Because it will do an original 6 checksums to see what your IVs are. And then it will do an additional 6 to see if there is a bottle cap. And if there is a bottle cap, you have to apply the bottle cap effect to the IV that is bottle cap. So, someone's like, you realize if they added a negative bottle cap, it's like, you realize if they added a negative bottle cap, every Pokemon would have 18 checksums. That's ridiculous. That's so dumb. You don't understand game design. We don't need 18 checksums. That would create so much data pool. 18 checksums per Pokemon, and you can have hundreds of Pokemon? No, thank you. And I basically go on this rant where I'm like, and I can say it quicker than I wrote it, and I can paraphrase and still get my fucking point across, where I'm like, saying, yeah, that's only a thing because Game Freak sort of, like, you're basically acknowledging a problem that only exists because of Game Freak's sort of stupid, shitty spaghetti code. And instead of being mad at Game Freak for getting us to this stupid position in the first place, because they didn't let bottle caps just alter the fucking stat, instead, you're basically going to defend, like, abhorrent game design. Because they created the most idiotic solution instead of just letting you actually edit the stats. But because they didn't let you edit the stats, we're now in a situation in which the checksum of a Pokemon is now this ridiculous, convoluted spaghetti code. And I basically just kind of, like, saying it, being kind of awkward, but, like, I just, you know, went on the rant about, like, the person defending abhorrent spaghetti code, when I basically said that this is only a problem because of Game Freak's sort of incompetence, their spaghetti code, and their sort of unwillingness to let people actually just edit a Pokemon. So, instead of being mad at Game Freak, as you really should be, you were defending their nonsense, and the sort of reply turned into this, like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, oh, you just said a bunch of word vomit. Your words are meaningless. I don't get what you're trying to say. It's like, you wrote a paragraph of nothing. It's like, it's not a paragraph of nothing. It was a paragraph of being mad that because of what Game Freak did, that you would basically, you know, the ending once the sandwich is up. Carson kept the fan on. You hear that, and I'll do my outro with the fan, and that will be that. But basically, trying to See if I spot another shiny, but I'm also ranting. I'll name the one Pikachu after this, but the short point. Because Game Freak made the bottle caps fake the stats, the game has to do 12 checksums to know what to generate instead of just letting people tweak the numbers, which people using hacking tools have been able to edit the values to tweak Pokemon stats for decades at this point. But because of Game Freak's weird, like, confusing stance on the way that they view, like, editing things, someone was effectively saying it's dumb to want... Wait, is that a shiny? No, it's just fucking lighting. That's what was throwing me off, is the dark lighting. But anyway, it's like, Game Freak's sort of refusal to let people just tweak the numbers turned into Game Freak putting convoluted spaghetti code, and you would rather, to sum up in the shortest way possible, instead of that paragraph rant, it's like, you would rather defend Game Freak and call me dumb because, oh, if they added a negative bottle cap, that would be like 18 checksums for every stat per Pokemon, and the amount of data bloat of like 18 checksums per stat per Pokemon, on top of the additional nature checksum, because the nature mints exist, you would basically need like 18 stat checksums and 2 nature checksums, and all this would do is bloat the game, and I'm a moron. Instead of being mad at Game Freak for getting us in this situation, you're calling me dumb for wanting something that should have happened in the fucking first place. And even then, the 18 checksum thing is a consequence of their stupid coding, and they should have just dealt with that. Or just let people edit the damn stats of a Pokemon. Which is hilarious, because Champions removes IVs. So, in Champions, everything is a 31, which is honestly just better, because then you don't need to deal with the 0 IV bullshit. So, special attackers no longer have that advantage of dumb shit, and Trick Room is now easier to deal with, and we don't have to deal with my other least favorite thing in Pokemon, which are those dumb high-level competitive sets that everyone's butthurt don't exist, which, I'm sorry, those sets are just stupid. Of no, it's like, I need like a 28 speed IV, because if I have a 28 speed IV, I am now faster than this one specific Pokemon, but I am slower than this specific Pokemon. And because I am faster than this, and slower than this, I can counter this oddly specific bullshit. That shit is dumb, I don't want to deal with that. Champions is hilarious to me, because besides not having IVs, which if they did have IVs, it would just be a fucking slider. We all know this. Champions is hilarious because you can just edit the nature in Champions. You can just edit the EVs in Champions. The EVs are simplified in Champions so that you get smaller numbers that make enough sense and are just easier to grasp. Your smaller numbers are simple. And I like that. And the natures and stuff are hilarious, especially because what I find so interesting about champions. So Ivies are all treated as 31, no matter what they were, which is cool. But what I really like, that is the most interesting nonsense to me, if you have a Pokemon in Champions, and that Pokemon has been edited with a Nature Mint, instead of the original nature, like I can nickname the Pikachu, and I can show stuff in a minute because I can make a fun point, but basically, so I can show the thing because it's something that not a lot of people notice. But I just find, fucking lighting. Yeah, not a shiny. Okay. Basically, Pokemon Champions. In Champions, if you move a Pokemon into Champions, and that Pokemon has had a Nature Mint used on it, when you move it into Champions, whatever the mint was is just the nature they consider the Pokemon. Meaning Champions actually values the Nature Mint and properly lists and account for it. Because in the actual games, and not a lot of people notice this, and there is a dumb reason that this matters, in the actual games, if you use a Nature Mint, it is a fake nature. It is only the effect of the nature, not the nature itself. And there is a reason that this is important. There is a stupid distinction because of the secondary ramifications of what Nature Mints do and what bottle caps also do. Okay, sandwich is over. Sandwich is over. I'm going to save because I got my mark shiny. I'm gonna fly back here. I can finish my little rant, and then I can end the stream, and we'll evolve the Pikachu, nickname the Pikachu. So, I also want to. Ooh! Absent-minded! Sweet. Oh, that's one of the rare marks. Oh, that's cool. I'll use her. I'll do my nickname. But so, you can see with the arrows, speed up, special attack down. That's jolly. But the thing is, nature lonely. She has jolly stats. She's lonely nature. The ramifications of this are annoying because, like, nature timid is hilarious because that's actually natural, which is good, but, like, not that this fully matters, but then it does. Those berries that are different pinch berries, where a Pokemon likes or dislikes a certain flavor, the nature mint nature is not accounted for. It will use the base nature. So if you have a nature mint and you've changed the Pokemon's nature because you changed the nature, the flavor of the nature that your Pokemon prefers is whatever is listed in the little bar. So she's only. So if she had one of those pinch berries, and I was trying to give her one of those pinch berries to help with like something positive for a jolly nature, it wouldn't work because she's not jolly. That stupid distinction. And in breeding, you can't pass bottle cap stats. So if something is bottle capped and you do breeding, you can't pass the stats. I just need a good nickname. I'm gonna unfortunately pee one more time. so I can nickname this thing and I had to use the bathroom, but Curzon was also in the bathroom. One of my slightly awkward, but okay. I'll nickname this thing and try to end. Just sitting here awkwardly. What am I? I have a full nickname in mind. Okay. Really need to plan nicknames ahead of time. On the fly, and then I'll name this thing. Not what I was trying to do. Okay. I always hate when I get stalling for names before I end. I will do a nickname in a minute. And a few things, certain things wouldn't fit, unfortunately. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Okay. About to name this thing. I'm sitting here awkwardly. That happens when I, like, on the fly, I was trying to think about a nickname. All this stuff is unfortunately too long, which annoys me. I wish they went up the character limit a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I know. Kind of awkward. Okay. checking some more stuff. Yeah. Okay. Still being awkward, I know. Hate when I was Googling some stuff and some other ideas for a bit too long because I was double checking some spelling of some stuff. Such a shame. Okay. Move this thing in my party. Just take an extra minute. Again, I have a few quick ideas. Checking some. This one just randomly came to me. Because I think it'll fit. No, that was kind of awkward. It fits perfectly. Okay. That works. I was going through references in my head, and I literally sat there for like 10 minutes googling some stuff. That would have been cool names, but they were too long, so we'll just go with that one and call it a day. Again, I know it's a bit awkward if I have a thunderstorm. I can do my EV training later. Fire, water, leaf. Looks like I don't have a thunderstorm. Looks like I don't have a thunderstorm. I think you can buy those in this game, though. I think. Fuck. Hold on. I know this has been stupid and awkward, and I'm sorry about that. These things happen, though, but hey. Awkward is at least real. Where is the thunderstorm? Can I buy these things? Oh, you can? Okay. Oh, that's easy. Okay. Let's go get a thunderstorm. That's easy. Then I'm going to end off. So there's a few places. The Delver Presence has thunderstorms. Then we'll evolve him. And then I'm ending off. I got my mark shiny. I'm going to then stop. I can do my EV training later. Ah, yeah, it does. Yeah, boy. Go back here. Save. Evolve. Save again. Do my outro. Okay. At least those were easy to get. Evolve. Extra Raichu. Going to save again in a second. Trying to show the shiny a little bit because like it's more orange with the dusty colors and yellow and it's more orange, but I do like Ultra Ball. a second. I'm gonna move the Pokemon back in the box. No, it's not a full match, but like it's a pretty good contrast. A brighter yellow. This bowl matches regular Raichu a little bit better, but not really a lot with orange. Like, before ending off, I always make like if you're trying to match, I mean that ball is pretty good. That's got yellow. That has some yellow on it. That I like for Raichus and stuff. It's also got some yellow, but like nothing's an exact match to orange. But let's stop meandering. Come back. Go to boxes. Put him back. I mean, I have some shine, like, that, this doesn't match, as a quick thing, doesn't match at all. This shiny would have been really cool with a, you know, heal ball. And then he's more of a nature contrast for something slightly different. Because you wanted a slightly better match on a Whimsicott. You would want, I've said this and I'm about to end, like some blue to match the horns. Like I did with blue with the Staraptor to match the blue feather part. So I could have done something with blue and tried to match the horns, but I still think these are pretty good complementary colors, and I just wanted something in a slightly different Pokeball. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really fucking matter. I also just like having Pokeball variety, and sometimes instead of matching colors, it would just do some silly nonsense. With that said, though, save again. Close the game. Like, I try to do some matching, but there are certain Pokemon where instead of full matches, I liked complementary colors. Or at least a kinda interesting, unique theme. Complementary is fun instead of color matching because, like, for the Whimsicott, the brown and the green with the, you know, stripes on it matches because it's natural, and then the blue horns are just a striking thing. And the Pokeball almost doesn't matter, but with that said, this worked. Now I just need to do my Eevee training, which I'm going to do later. And as I always make a joke with, like, matching, sometimes it's hard to truly match a color. Like, look at a Spathra, because it's brown with, like, the purple, so you could match the purple with like a Master Ball. Or if you're trying to do a close color match, you would want a darker Pokeball. There's just some Pokemon. Whimsicott would have been kind of funny in a blue Pokeball, but I like my contrast every now and again. I also just don't see the, that specific Pokeball all that often. Contrast is fun. I'll stop rambling and end off. I just started with these hunts, doing some color matching. Like, I also just have other cool looking adjacent things. Like, Sableye was more yellow, but I called it a dusk ball because, again, it's a contrast of a dark green with yellow. Whimsicott's a grass type, and I like the nature effect because the Pokeballs have the little effect too. But anyway, I'm gonna stop stalling. Sorry about the awkward start to this thing and the awkward end. This is definitely going on YouTube, so I'm gonna do my combination outro. As always, I become the beggar and the vagabond, where I'm basically standing on the street corner. I flip over an empty hat. I have an empty guitar case, and I shake my cup of change. Like, comment, and subscribe. Can you spare a like? Comment and subscribe. For YouTube, that would be, the like, comment, and subscribe. For Twitch, follow. Can you spare a follow? It really does help. YouTube notices if people subscribe. So, subscriptions are great. With that said, on Twitch, if I get some lurkers and follows on Twitch, we could maybe hit affiliate, because I would like to get some people in here. With that point, the Shield Train Express has rolled into the station. All aboard the Shield Train Express! Choo-choo, motherfuckers! In the pinned comment and the video description on YouTube are my social media links. You can talk to me and follow me on social media or whatever the following equivalent is. There's a bit of a widget limit on Twitch, so you can't get as many links. On YouTube, there's a link to the Twitch. On Twitch, there's a link to the YouTube. They have the same name and profile picture, so that helps people anyway. There's also a Patreon link. Please only support me if you absolutely feel like you need to. But our mom did have surgery, and I'm not trying to guilt trip people, but extra money would be nice because I'm trying to get a bunch of bullshit. UPS battery backup, some hard drives, and some other miscellaneous shit I need. And she was also trying to be nice and spend some money to help me, but then she was kind of complaining because she's out of work because of the surgery and being on paid leave, not getting a lot of money, which is kind of shit. I'm not trying to guilt trip people, but Christ, every dollar helps. With that said, now departing the Shield Train Express. Goodbye, motherfuckers. But before you go, as I always say, I am going to, do my full outro here. Again, sorry the beginning was awkward. Sorry the ending was awkward. I got my shiny though. He's marked, and that's great. With all of that said, for YouTube, I hope you all enjoyed the video. For Twitch, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Whether you were here during the live stream or you watched the VOD. Either way, I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you... Damn it. fine. I was trying to do the end of that. Started coughing. God, fuck up my outro. For YouTube, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And for Twitch, I hope you all enjoyed the stream, whether you were here during the VOD. Whether you were here during the stream or you watched the VOD. But either way, I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later. You see, that worked. Sorry about the awkward outro. Christ almighty.